Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual. You guys know the deal, man. You know what we're here to do, man. Right? We're here to tell the truth. It's all about the facts here. It's all about the facts on this channel, right? We must continue to educate, and we must continue to tell the truth here. And I want to thank you guys for all your love, man, for subscribing to my channel, for your comments, watching my videos, all that stuff, guys. It means a lot to me. You know I'm just a small channel. I don't have the flashy, fancy videos like a lot of these other, YouTube channels. So I appreciate you guys, and I respect you guys coming and listening to my videos and sharing your thoughts with me. Thank you, guys. It means a lot. And in this video, we're going to speak about LeBron James and this cramp game. LeBron James and the cramps game and how that relates to the mindset of LeBron James, right, versus Michael Jordan. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, many of us know about LeBron James and the quote-unquote cramps game, right? The game where LeBron James was carried off the court by his teammates in embarrassing fashion. It was embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it was. For a grown man, what was he, 28 years old, to be carried off the court like that by a bunch of other grown men. It was embarrassing. Should never happen like that. But we're going to talk about that in this video and how that relates to the mindset of LeBron James, how that relates to the excuses, right? They're always making excuses for this man, and how that relates to Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan and how he dealt with the flu game, and Michael Jordan himself dealing with cramps before, guys. Yes, that's correct. So, when we think about the 2014 NBA Finals, we think about Game 1. This is when the cramp game happened for LeBron James. The first game of that series in San Antonio, LeBron James had to be carried off the court in the fourth quarter. Towards the end of the game, I believe he only played about 32 minutes in the game because he had to come off the court every once in a while because of these cramps that he was dealing with. Now, when we think about LeBron James, guys, right? And we think about his mindset, and we think about who he is, right? Over the years, what he's shown us. And what he's shown us is that he's not really that tough. He's not really a warrior to the degree of someone like a Michael Jordan. He just doesn't have that physical toughness, that mental toughness. He can't really push through like a Michael Jordan, so to speak, right, guys? He doesn't have that in him. And the video footage is there. There's evidence all over the NBA's history of Michael Jordan battling through pain, battling through, little injuries and things like that. We have the evidence of that. Michael Jordan pushing through these things, right? Raising his level of play, still performing at a high level. No matter what, he was able to block those things out, right? Focus on the game. Focus at the task at hand. And more often than not, Michael Jordan would come through. And now we think of LeBron James over the years. It's the complete opposite. This man will flop. He'll flail. He'll stand around. He'll point at teammates, right? All the things that we're always talking about that we hate about LeBron James, right? That we do not respect about this man. And one of the aspects that we do not like or appreciate about LeBron James or respect is this idea and this, this way that LeBron James likes to always flex, the way that LeBron James likes to make it seem as if he's this really tough person, that he's a tough guy, that he's a warrior to the degree of a Michael Jordan when he's not on that level. And in the 2014 NBA Finals, the cramps game, that was a clear example of LeBron James not having the toughness of a Michael Jordan. a clear example of that. Now, you guys might say to me, well, Michael Jordan never had to deal with cramps like that. Yes, he has, guys, in an NBA Finals. And you know the funny thing about it, or the ironic thing about it, is that Michael Jordan and some of his teammates were dealing with cramping issues during I want to say it was game 4 of the 1997 NBA Finals. And the Bulls would lose that game, right? That would be their second game in Utah, right? And they had lost the previous one. They would lose this one. And Michael Jordan and his Bulls teammates were reported to be dealing with cramps. However, the difference between Michael Jordan and his teammate dealing with cramps and the way that LeBron James handled his cramping was, number one, we must think about the Chicago Bulls and the cramping that they were dealing with in Game 4 of the 1997 Finals was due to the trainer error. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The trainer for the Chicago Bulls gave the Bulls players Gator Load instead of Gatorade. Now, I never even heard of Gator Load, but supposedly this is a different kind of drink that's full of carbs, right? It's a carb-loaded drink, hence the name Gator Load. And this was given to the Bulls players during the game by accident. So Michael Jordan and a couple other Bulls players were said to be suffering from stomach cramps. Stomach cramps, guys. Now, there's a difference between having stomach cramps, having someone give you something that was tainted, right? By accident, giving you a different product than you should have gotten, right? And it affecting you. As opposed to LeBron James being the only person affected by cramps in that game. LeBron James was 28 years old, I believe, at the time, in his athletic prime. Right? LeBron James always talks about how much money he spends on his body in the offseason, how much of a great in shape person he is. Right? He does all these things in the offseason to stay ready for the season, physically in shape. Right? All this stuff. Personal chefs, all this working out, all this stuff. Spends all this money. But LeBron James was the only one suffering from cramps in that game. 37-year-old Tim Duncan, who played 33 minutes in that game, no problems with cramps. 36-year-old Manu Ginobili, no problems with cramps. Ray Allen, who was older, no problems with cramps. Dwayne Wade, all these older players playing just as many minutes as LeBron, no one had to suffer with cramps. No one had to be carried off the court. That's the embarrassing part. He couldn't even walk off the court on his own power. This same person, LeBron James, who's always flexing, right, on 6 foot tall guys, always flexing on these guys when he dunks on them. Right, he'll flex. Right, he's always shrugging his shoulders up like he's buff like that. He's always letting us know that he's in his great shape. But yet, once again, the results are not there for him on the basketball court. The results are not there. He gets cramps. And then once again, the excuses come out. Right? If you read articles, guys, from when that happened, if you read the articles, all they'll talk about is how painful cramps are, about how the conditions in San Antonio, they were very hot, right? The air conditioner broke, whatever, some nonsense. They make all these excuses up for LeBron James, the only person dealing with it, right? The only person dealing with it. No one else was affected. Guys were almost 10 years older than this man were not affected. But LeBron James, who's supposed to be this great athlete, right, takes care of his body in the offseason, puts in all this work. Once again, the work does not show up on the basketball court because he's the only one dealing with the cramps. Michael Jordan never had to get carried off in Game 4. The Bulls would lose that game. Michael Jordan was never carried off due to cramping in that game. You guys remember hearing about or seeing Michael Jordan carried off? And the funny thing is, guys, once again, I didn't even know about that story. I had never heard about Michael Jordan having cramps in an NBA Finals game in Game 4 of 97. Never heard of that, guys. Why was that? Because it wasn't a big national news story. People weren't making excuses for Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. But for LeBron James in the 2014 NBA Finals, Game 1 with the cramps, everybody was making excuses for LeBron James. His teammates, Shane Battier and Ray Allen and Dwayne Wade, all these people talking about how painful cramps are. Once again, it's the pain threshold of LeBron James is not high. He does not have a high tolerance for pain. He does not. He doesn't have a high tolerance for resistance, right? Which is why he's always walking off the court early, right? He doesn't like a challenge. So he gives up a lot. He quits a lot. That's his MO. And LeBron James is not physically tough. He is not mentally as tough as people try to make it seem that he is, right? He's not on the level of a Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant blew out his Achilles and then still stay on the court to shoot the free throws. How many people would have done that? We all know if that was LeBron James and he suffered a significant injury like that, this man would have laid on the floor for about 20 minutes. We know that. And why do we know that? Because LeBron James has rolled on the floor, flopped around, carried on the floor for minutes for way, way lesser things, right? This guy will get a phantom foul call, a phantom hit, and he'll fall on the floor and lay there and roll around the floor for minutes, guys, minutes at a time. We have the video footage of this. Kobe Bryant didn't do that. I don't remember Michael Jordan ever doing that. And you know what's funny, guys, about that cramp game in the game 4 of the 97 finals, right? When Michael Jordan had to come in and out of the game and some of his teammates had to come in and out with stomach cramps, right? Due to a trainer error. The ironic thing about that game is that 3 days later, Michael Jordan would have the flu game. 3 days later, guys. You guys don't even know that, though. No one knew that in game 4 they were dealing with cramps, right? And then in 3 days later in game 5, he would be dealing with the flu game, which ended up being what? Food poisoning or whatever it was. Michael Jordan battling back-to-back games. Once again, the more you dig into Michael Jordan's career, the more his career becomes enhanced. All of a sudden now, in my mind, Michael Jordan's flu game becomes that much more spectacular. To deal with the cramping issues in game 4 a couple of days earlier due to a trainer error, and then having to go through and battle in a game 5 with the series tied 2 apiece, with the flu or the food poisoning, whatever you want to call it, still having to battle again 2 games in a row. In Utah, Michael Jordan pushing through, carrying the Bulls in that game 5, literally carrying the Bulls to a game 5 victory. Not feeling well in back-to-back games. Never carried off the court by his teammates, right? Embarrassing fashion. Never had excuses made for him. This LeBron James, though, getting carried off the court, having excuses made for him in an NBA Finals where his team would lose in record fashion, right? By a record margin. Right? It was the beginning of the end for the excuses for LeBron James in the 2014 NBA Finals. The man was looking for a way out. In that 4th quarter, I think they got outscored, 36-18 or something like that in the 4th quarter of that game. LeBron only played, 5 minutes in the 4th quarter because of the cramps that nobody else dealt with. Once again, LeBron James claims to be taking care of his body in the offseason, spending all this money on his body in the offseason. But yet and still, when it matters most, LeBron James, his body will fail him. He'll have excuses, right? Because why? I always tell you guys, LeBron James is not doing something right in the offseason, right? He's doing shady things, which are going to affect his health. He also does not work on the things that are important, like his overall game. He does not work on his overall game, right? This offseason, guys, you know he's not working on his game. He's in there using the total machine and pumping those chemicals because he really believes if he plays 30 years, 25 years, whatever he plays, that he's going to somehow surpass these other all-time greats just because he's playing 50, 55 games for the last 10, 15 years of his career. You can't fool us. I told you that. We see through this nonsense. And LeBron James being carried off the court like the way he did in the 2014 NBA Finals is embarrassing. And it speaks about LeBron James, his mindset, right? And his lack of real toughness. Even though he thinks he's this tough guy, his fans think that he's tough. He has never proved that he's tough. He's not proved it. You guys know the deal, man. Michael Jordan dealing with the cramps in 1997 Game 4, not being carried off the court, pushing through, actually scoring like trying to bring the Bulls back in that game. I believe he scored like almost 20 points in that fourth quarter, trying to bring the Bulls back while dealing with the cramps. Wasn't a thing. I didn't even know about that till recently. Wasn't even a thing. No one cared about it. No one made excuses. The Bulls lost. The Jazz beat them. And then the next game, Michael Jordan carrying the Bulls with the stomach bug, with the flu, whatever you want to call it, carrying them to a Game 5 victory over the Utah Jazz in Utah. No excuses made. But LeBron James always has excuses. His teammates, oh, you know, that's hard to play with the cramps. It's very painful. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure it is painful. But why was LeBron James the only one affected? Why was that? Why did he have to be carried off? Why couldn't he walk off on his own? Why? Because LeBron James is a drama queen, not a king. He's a drama queen. He's always been like that his entire career, right? It's always about, hey, look at me, right? Look what I'm dealing with. I've told you guys the other day, right? These fake injuries, these phantom injuries. It's always about, hey, look at me. Look what I'm dealing with. Look what I had to deal with. It's all about him. Nobody else on his team was dealing with the same conditions. Nobody in San Antonio was dealing with the same conditions. Only LeBron James. We must feel sympathy for poor LeBron James. But we have no sympathy for this man. Right? It's just another instance in LeBron James's career of nonsense. Straight nonsense. That his fans have no answer for. It's all excuses. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you on the next one.